Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fund It Fridays. My name is Eric.
My name's Johnny.
My name is Joel.
And we're going to dive right into it. This week on Fund It Fridays, we're talking about our recent fundings. Currently, right now, I'm wrapping up a DSCR loan in St. Petersburg and have a couple submissions for repeat clients in Florida, ground-up projects. Most excited currently about a deal I have in South Carolina that's going through underwriting, very qualified builders, about $400,000 budget, and hoping to churn out a couple identical specs. More rural than I think the lenders are hoping to be, but I think their track record is going to, justify the funding here. So that's what I'm working on currently. Johnny?
Nice. Yeah, I recently had some fundings of small construction loans. I work with a lot of builders that own anywhere from 10 to 40 lots, and they build like small workforce housing, like starter homes of 200K cost to build, 300K sale price, right? So really good starter homes for first time buyers or people that are looking to downsize. I think across the Midwest and the East Coast of the U.S. Home sales are increasing in my opinion, because there is a shortage of supply. And there's a lot of people that are moving from the West Coast to the East Coast for obvious reasons, that are looking to either downsize or buy their first home where it's more affordable and the cost of living is a little bit cheaper. So ton of builders like that I'm working with. A lot of DSCR loans lately because rates have dropped. The Federal Reserve had their meeting 2 weeks ago where they dropped rates by 50 basis points. We'll see if that happens again here at their next meeting. But yeah, tons of submissions. Our pipeline is growing month over month as a team. So that's what I've been seeing lately. What about you, Joel?
Yeah, a lot more DSCR loans, which are the rental property loans. We actually have options also for short-term rental on the DSCR, which is growing in demand. But we can offer options as well. I just recently funded a 2 single-family residence build in Fort Lauderdale. It's very important. When clients are looking and they're shopping around, yes, interest rates are very important. The process of submission is very important, but what's also important to a lot of builders is that we deliver on the terms that we promise, right, guys?
Yeah.
I recently had a funding in which the builders were actually sick of their current lender because they would change the terms either in the middle of the transaction.
That's right.
Or even just to get a term sheet, they would be offered 3 different types of quotes.
You need to shut the up.
So they really came to us looking for something solid, something that they could count on. We delivered on those terms. They weren't so much concerned about the interest rate. They just wanted someone that they can count on to deliver on terms promised. We recently closed on that in Fort Lauderdale, and they're very happy. Left us a great Google review, guys. And they're looking to submit a few more in the next few months as well. So very happy clients.
And that was a quick closing timeline, right?
That's right.
How long did it take for you to close it?
As a first submission, we close that within 3 weeks. And once you get approved with us, which is great, the next submissions are actually a lot faster because we already have all your documents in order. We have your entity documents. All you really need to come in with is the scope of work, the completion value, and some site plans, and we can get some quotes out and close those deals in 10 days?
Yeah.
And why is it beneficial for home builders to get access to that type of funding?
Well, it's beneficial because they need to have comfort to know that we're someone steady, someone they can depend on, and they don't have to go through a submission process of entity documents approval every time they submit a loan.
Credit,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very important for them to know that they can rely on us for funding, and we have a virtually unlimited supply of capital for them.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what Joel said, I think, we really value radical transparency, and it's very common in the lending industry to have lenders overpromise and underdeliver. They'll say whatever they need to say to get somebody to sign an initial term sheet and order an appraisal, but then they can't deliver on those terms. And that's why we like to always be upfront from the beginning, list all of our fees, list what it's going to look like. And, the client might end up going an initial different route because they say, oh, this other lender, has this better rate, and they have no fees and no origination. But it's a hard learning curve for them to come to find out they get 50, 75% through the way with that other lender, and boom, their terms change, and now it's more expensive than what we offered initially. So, we would rather under promise and over deliver personally, be upfront from the get. And, I've run into a couple headaches, not headaches, but, hindrances in like Ohio and Pennsylvania recently, where, there's some rules state to state that vary, such as no prepayment penalties being allowed on term sheets in those states. And so the rate has to adjust for that accordingly, and is a little bit more expensive to work into that. And clients are comparing our term sheet side by side to another lender who I don't believe is following that rule, because they wouldn't be able to beat us on a rate by 2 points or 2% if they were taking that into account. So always best to ride on your morals, I believe, and be honest and transparent up front, and that's just the way we go about things.
Yeah, and if you're in business, we're in this for the long haul, right? We're not here for 1 month, 6 months, a year. We're going to be here for the next 5, 10 plus years. And the way you build any good business is with repeat clients. And you don't get repeat clients if you overpromise and underdeliver, and don't set expectations properly. So, piggybacking off what Eric said, we're willing to lose business by not overpromising and underdelivering, because common practice, not for all lenders, but for a good amount of them that we've seen, is they put out term sheets with the best terms possible, and then at the closing table, they don't perform on them, and it puts borrowers in a tight and tough position. So we're in it for the long haul. We take pride in building long-term relationships with our clients, and that's why the reviews speak for themselves.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Good work, Joel, on getting that last one. Obviously, you delivered on what you told them initially, and that's why they were happy to do that for you.
Yeah, they were really happy with us, and that's great. We like to make our builders happy, and that way they keep coming back, and we can help them build homes faster and more homes often. And that's our goal.
For sure. What about looking forward, guys? What do you see? I mean, obviously, we had the recent rate cut, 50 basis points. I don't know. Do you think that's going to happen more going to the future as we enter Q4 here shortly? Or where do you see the appetite for new mortgages as we close out 2024, Johnny?
Well, I think there's still a lot of people sitting on their 2% rates they locked in 2020. So I don't see those people refinancing. But there are a lot of people that are looking to refinance out of short-term bridge loans, construction loans, or higher interest rate long-term rental loans they got in the last year or two that were upwards of 8 or 9%, and they're trying to get down in the 6s right now. So ton of demand already that we've seen in the last month on 30-year rental loans for refinances and acquisitions. Ton of demand for people that are looking to buy rental properties, those that do the BRRRR strategy, buy, rehab, refinance, rent, repeat. That's what DSCR loans are great for, right? Because you can put as little as 20% down if you have good credit and buy more cash flowing properties. So we've seen a huge surge of demand from that, whereas we weren't really looking for that the previous 2 years.
And what's great about those too is you don't have to prove your income. There's no debt to income ratios. Really, we just count on the mortgage payment being less than the rental income. So that's a really good qualifier. A lot of people don't want to show tax returns. They don't necessarily want to show their income, and these loans are perfect for that.
Yeah, they're great for getting huge cash flow. I have one client who I'm thinking of right now. She's a Florida resident, but she wants to purchase 10 properties in Ohio, she told me, in the next 3 to 4 months. And she has the liquidity to come in with cash, right? But if she was to leave all that cash in her properties for her purchase, she'd be cash poor. What her plan is to buy all cash and then immediately after close, refinance, pull the cash out for the BRRRR, and then she's going to cash flow really nicely, even though those rentals in Ohio don't cash flow like rentals in California necessarily, but there's plenty of room there once you pull your cash out and you go use it to purchase more properties. So seeing a lot of that come in.
Right on. And guys, just to give you a heads up, we do have portfolio loans too, which is actually more than one property in the same loan. So 2 or more properties, we can do purchases, refinances. Those are available too, and it really helps people out.
Yeah. My focus for the end of the year, obviously, we've seen a flood of the DSCR, but I'm really still trying to push construction, new construction finance. I still think that's the biggest need in the whole country, lack of supply of housing. It's going to do the most to help prices come down for the average consumer. And I think it's got the greatest long-term return in terms of a customer value for us, for us to be partnering up with builders who do good work and have been in the industry for a long time, and just bring them a better loan product that can help them complete more builds faster and get on to their next project.
I have a question for you guys, for both of you. Why do you like what you do?
I'll go first if that's okay with you. And I like that, we're talking money, we're talking real estate all day long, and we're kind of always tapping into the market and getting to see it from different perspectives, whether that's state by state, client by client. But we're really bringing, huge value to everybody long term, both to the builder who we're funding and to the client they end up selling the home to, by cutting red tape and solving problems that can increase the supply of housing. So I just feel fulfilled knowing that our work directly is solving, one of America's greatest problems, and then we get compensated nicely for it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
It's a good reason to like what you do.
Yeah, just to follow up on some of the last things he said is we're in a housing crisis.
Yeah.
Rental properties, and even we're funding new builds, and that's what we really need across the country. New builds, it helps everybody out. People can either build to rent or they can build to sell for profit. But either way, a new house will be there and alleviate the housing crisis across the country. That's what I like about this. That's actually what I like the most as well.
I concur with everything you guys said. I would just add that, one, being a debt advisor to home builders or to real estate investors is a really important role. Even the best real estate investors with great credit and the best financials, they have debt advisors. They have capital markets advisors that advise them on where to source their equity and where to source their debt for their deals, because they don't want to focus on calling 30 different lenders and figuring out where the best source of money is for their particular deal.
That's
They
true.
just want to call Joel or Eric, or have that one person that they can say, hey, Johnny, here's my deal. You have my stuff. Get it done for me, right? They want to have that go-to source that can get it done for them. So I enjoy being that go-to source for my clients and building long-term relationships with my clients and getting to know them, who they are as people, and getting to learn from them too. I get to learn about real estate development without risking my own money. I get to see how the lenders make money. I get to see how the developers themselves make money. And like Eric said, we're providing hundreds of jobs to people involved in the home building process, from the title work, from the insurance, from the people that are actually building the house, and all the way down to the people that are eventually going to live in that house. So, we're doing great work.
Yeah, I also want to mention too, we develop relationships here, right, guys? And oftentimes we'll fly out to developments, whether it's in Florida or wherever it might be, to visit some of these sites and visit these builders just to, get to know them better. They know us better. They're already depending on us for their capital, and we like to go visit them and see how everything's going.
Yeah, and it's fun to have a business where you can see the true results come to fruition.
It's tangible.
It's tangible. Like, we're not just talking about something that is theoretical here. We can go see the home that's built that we funded, and I think that's a really rewarding, thing to see at the end of the day. Final thoughts, Johnny?
I love what I do, as you can tell. Love working with builders, love working with flippers, love working with rental property investors. And I just love seeing people grow their real estate portfolio, because what they're doing it for is to, build wealth for their families and their future families. And, that's not possible without having the money to do so.
Yeah, it's one of the best investments you can make, guys.
Definitely.
Real estate.
Final thought for me is that, a lot of this stuff kind of can sound like another language if you're not, super financially literate. But we're always happy to answer questions. This isn't only for, 800 credit score investors. If you just have questions about how do I get an investment loan, what is a DSCR rental loan, what sort of cash do I need to put down, give us a call the office HML. You're going to speak to one of our qualified sales agents and investor relations agents, and we're going to have answers for you and help guide you along the way, help you get you started in investment real estate, build your portfolio. So that's it for us here at HML. Again, I'm Eric, and this is Funded Fridays.
This is Johnny.
Joel, you guys have a great one.
See you in the next one.
Until next time.
Got money, yeah, and you know it, yeah. Take it out your pocket and show it, yeah.